But with me being the CEO, I had to learn a lot, throughout this whole journey that he couldn't even tell me, Coming from engineering backgrounds, we didn't know business like that.
Sure.
All we did know was making the product. We didn't know how to market it. I'm 26 years old, but I want to make sure that my future is everlasting. You know what I'm saying?
Welcome to Catch the Moment podcast. I am your host, David Tyree.
It is caught by Tyree. That's a great catch by David Tyree. Oh my God. This ball's thrown and Tyree just goes up for it like a basketball player.
Welcome back to Catch the Moment podcast. It's your host, David Tyree. Back for another exciting episode. This is where you come to get the process, the journey, right? We're going to go underneath the skin and see what's actually happening so that you can be successful on your journey to your next moment. Today, I'm here with marketing director, CEO, HBCU, true blood nonprofit founder, Daryl Riley. Welcome to the pod, fam.
Yo, I'm happy to be here, man. Listen, I'm excited.
We out here doing it. We made it, man. We out here looking at the sky of New York City.
I ain't never seen New York City like this, man. This is tough over here. Right?
I feel the same. My era was the. I know we got this. Just for context, right now we got the Drake and whatchamacallit, the K-Dot beef going on. I don't really get, but mine was the Hit 'Em Up, Pac, Biggie era, right? So I'm from that era. But the only reason why I say that was a good time for me because I'm from Jersey.
Yeah.
And we had the Outlaws rocking with Pac. And it was like straight out of NEW Jersey with Plenty Murders Occur.
Okay. Okay.
So coming from Jersey, trust me, I never seen this New York City skyline either. So we in common ground now. But first question I ask every guest is, where were you the first time? And I'm starting to date myself now because you're a young buck. But where were you the first time you ever saw the helmet catch? What was your thoughts? Any memory? Whatever you got from it?
Yeah, man. So being from Newburgh, New York, man, like my dad, he's a big Giants fan. Well, New York fan to the core. It could be just Giants. It could be the Islanders for all I know. You know what I'm saying?
He got all of them.
Or he rooting for any New York team. But it was 2008 that catch happened?
I see it, bro.
So I was 10 years old at the time, and like football wasn't really my first love. Like I was more into the basketball, but I remember that Super Bowl just because it was the Giants playing. And my dad being a big fan, I remember he had like a Super Bowl party happening at the crib.
Yeah.
And I was watching the game and I was like, oh, this is tough, you know what I'm saying? Like they going at it with the Patriots.
Locking horns.
You know what I'm saying? And then we see the catch that you made, helmet, boom, you know what I'm saying? You holding on to it, you know what I'm saying? And my dad jumped off the couch, was just screaming, like, just happy, bro.
Pops.
You know what I'm saying? And then, what was it? I don't know if it was the very next play, but that's when Eli threw that touchdown to Plexico. Yeah. And they won, man. He was happy. I was happy for him, you know what I'm saying? I was like, you would have thought he won the chip too, you know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
Yeah, man. So that's how I remember.
That's super dope. I know you was a shorty at the time. Do you remember was like the vibes? Because I always like to think, like, what was New York? What was the streets of New York looking like at that moment? Was cats just out on the block just yelling out, "Coming to America" style?
Yeah, it was crazy, man.
You could feel it even as a shorty?
Man, listen, it was like all of New York just in one setting, man. I was like, I ain't never seen this many people celebrating a chip, you know what I'm saying? And then that's when the Yankees won the following year. And it was like, dang, bro, like, you don't really be riding for the teams, you know what I'm saying?
They thirsty for a championship with 17-year drought, man. But all right, so I appreciate you sharing that. Big shout out, Pops, for holding us down on the NYG love. You know what I'm saying? It was a special moment. So it's always good to hear those stories. But so 26 years old, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
So Newburgh, New York. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of like little suburb right outside the city, right?
Yeah, it's a small city upstate.
Yeah, put some respect on it. Yeah. And I went to Syracuse, so a lot of athletes. We used to get all the best athletes, especially back in the day, because they thought Syracuse was close to New. So, but Newburgh is like an hour?
Yeah, it's like an hour and some change away from the city.
Yeah, there you go. So you ain't way upstate.
Yeah,
we was way. Syracuse like 4 hours.
That's Canada, basically.
Big fact. But man, you're 26 years old and you've done what most haven't. You've taken a leap into entrepreneurship. You do have a background, so we talk about like. I want to get into the journey, but the audacity, man. The audacity at your age and stage now, CEO of Tendaji.
Yes, sir.
Explain to us what that is. and then we're gonna take it back to just the appetite. Young African American male, HBCU, you got your credentials.
Oh yeah, man. Listen, HBCU to the core, man. 2-time HBCU, you already know.
2-time, huh?
Yeah,
I love that. It's like you gotta get you a belt. So, but talk to us about Tendaji, what the platform is, and then we're gonna get into a little bit of the journey to become an entrepreneur.
Yes, sir. So Tendaji was my first business. It was founded in June 24th, 2020. It's our fashion technology business. It means make things happen in Swahili. And the mission of Tendaji is to integrate the productivity of technology with the style and confidence of fashion. Tendaji, initially our senior design project, we got an A in the class. But we felt like this business this product can be monetized, you know.
Sure.
And I remember when we presented this product idea at the time to this one pitch competition that was sponsored by Forbes, we won it, and we literally told ourselves, if Forbes is telling us yes, why would we tell ourselves no? And the rest is history, honestly.
Oh boy, it's dope to that conclusion right there is what kind of begins to change life when someone else says that you are good enough.
Yeah.
That usually becomes the catalyst to doing something far greater than maybe you even saw yourself
right
do.
Yeah.
Big time, super big time. So let's get into just kind of growing up pedigree. What was the house like? Mm-hmm. Like I said, close to the city, but y'all got some breathing room. Y'all probably got some grass in Newburgh.
Oh yeah, a little bit of grass, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I lived with my mom and dad and my sister, my little sister. So Daryl Senior, I'm Daryl Junior. I go by as DJ. Then my mom is Donna Riley, and then my little sister, she's Daniel Nicole Riley. So we lived in a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom household. So we had a good time living where we were at.
Yeah.
In Newburgh, New York. It was definitely a small city, but a lot was happening in Newburgh during that time. During my middle school and high school years, Newburgh was proclaimed as the murder capital of New York at the time.
Really?
Yeah, based off of murder per capita.
Sheesh.
So you hearing about stuff, you seeing stuff
because I've heard of Newburgh, but I can't recall why I heard about Newburgh.
Yeah, Newburgh. I mean, I don't hear too much about any violence happening. I mean, I'm pretty sure it still happens, but Newburgh, when I was young, man, it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing about people that was my age at 7 years old being murdered by people, you know what I'm saying? And, to be one of the lucky ones to come out of it, man, it's really a blessing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, what was when it comes to values, so obviously you make, we know that you navigated the path, you had sounds like a healthy family ecosystem. What were the values that they instilled that kind of, eventually created the guardrails where you landed at Hampton University?
Yeah, man. So one thing about it, discipline was the forefront. Of, you know what I'm saying?
So Daryl saying you ain't play no games?
Yeah, my dad ain't play no games, man. You know what I'm saying?
Because you dropped the Swahili name for the company. Yeah. So I wasn't sure if you was what kind of black you was. So you old school black?
Yeah, I'm old school black. Collard greens black. You know what I'm saying? Yams touches mac and
soul
cheese
food black. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. So Daryl wasn't playing no game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. So he actually went to the Navy. So that's where his discipline came from, and he instilled it into the household. You know what I'm saying?
Now we talking.
Yeah.
Now we talking. So he probably had some of what you gonna do. Yeah. So what you gonna do, you ain't gonna disrespect. Right? Good values in general.
And if you start, you gotta finish it. You can't be the type to quit, and
So you can't quit nothing.
You better finish it before you know what I'm saying. You gotta finish it. You can't just start it and just give up on it. You know what I'm saying?
Excellent. All right, so. Obviously, college, comes into purview. Number one, it was just great for a number of factors. I would say within the last 4 or 5 years, the visibility that HBCUs have gotten. Of course, definitely. Coach Prime and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But my best friend went to Hampton.
Come on now.
Yeah. One of my best friends out of high school went to Hampton.
I relate you, I might add.
And now it's a wild situation going on the HBCU, but
yeah.
What was your experience like? What was, what from a holistic perspective, what was the advantages, and maybe even talk about what was some of the liabilities? Because we know us, we take it to the max.
Yeah.
So what was the advantages? What was the, some of the liabilities?
Yeah.
And what was the greatest takeaways in your experience?
So, man, listen, my 7 years altogether at my 2 HBCUs. So I went to Hampton University first, the Standard of Excellence, my home by the sea from 2015 to 2020. And then I went to North Carolina A&T. Aggie Pride. Gotta yell that out, man. You know what I'm saying? But went there in 2020 to 2022. And I'll start off with Hampton just because I went there first, man.
Yeah.
Like, Hampton was my home away from home. Like, it really taught me how to just not to be disciplined, just to be a full-on adult and, like, handle my business, you know what I'm saying? And, like, listen, I enjoyed my 5 years there. Not gonna lie, I was like goofing off and all, but it's like
it's the stage.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It's the stage.
Yeah, like I was very involved on Hampton's campus. I was I was vice president for NAACP. I was a part of their student leadership program. I did the engineering organization. So like I was around. People knew me. People respected me. What's it called? Was Mr. Senior for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So,
I see it in your cheekbones, man. You look, man, you got these model cheekbones. You know what I'm saying?
I've been hearing that a lot actually. My cheekbones. Like,
yeah, it's like the athlete cut. You know, so you know, like listen, obviously, you know, you take care of yourself. You know, and things will work out for you. So So you had some respect on campus. Mr. Engineer? No.
Yeah, engineer, man. That was electrical engineer to be more precise, man.
Okay.
Yeah, that was definitely a time, man. Like I did 5 years, like I said.
Sure.
You know, I remember the graduation where if I would have graduated quote unquote on time,
sure,
it would have been on my birthday actually, May 12th, 2019.
Okay.
But you know, unfortunately, due to credits, I had to do a whole nother year just to receive my bachelor's in electrical engineering.
Got you.
And I remember during my 22nd birthday, I'm at my friends' graduations. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that I went to school with started freshman year. And it was a bittersweet moment. I'm not going to hold you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I'm celebrating my friends, but I'm like, damn, I wish I was down there. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, like that kind of like fueled a fire in me to like really finish strong even after, you know, I seen my friends graduate, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it brought me back to my dad just telling me to finish what I start, you know.
Excellent.
Don't leave anything left alone without doing anything to finish it, you know.
What was the biggest hiccups, right? Because like I said, I've seen whether athlete, full scholarship, regular students, every university has its own ecosystem, but you know, obviously most people we're kind of let off the leash in relation to no longer being under our parents' care.
Yeah.
What were the biggest traps for you as a young man? And if there was something unique about an HBCU, expound on that.
I mean, I would say like the freedom. I got a little carried away with the freedom that I had being away from New York. Cause like I ain't gonna lie, like living in Newburgh, like you don't really see like the next engineers or the next doctors. You know what I'm saying? You just see the hoopers and the rappers. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect. You know what I'm saying? So like once I got like that freedom, I'm literally with friends who are about to be future doctors, lawyers, engineers, and I'm partying with them, you know what I'm saying? Forgetting my reasoning on why I went to school in the first place.
It's good.
You know what I'm saying? And I kind of got distracted. With engineering, it's already hard itself, but
buddy,
you know what I'm saying?
You ain't picked no light work, brother.
Yeah, I know, man. Differential equations, I had to take that twice. That was hell, man. That was stressful, man.
You stay on your A game with these differentials.
You know what I'm saying? And then like just to get like a vulnerable, like from 2015 to 2017. Unfortunately, I lost some family members. So the day before my 18th birthday, I lost my grandmother. Same day as my sophomore move-in day, I lost my grandfather. And then during finals week of my sophomore year spring semester, my aunt unfortunately committed suicide.
All right, let's talk real quick through that because, you know, especially as a young man, that's some of the most vulnerable time because you're still discovering, you're in pursuit of something, but you're also still discovering who you are at the same time.
Most definitely.
Right? So then you lose what I would imagine to be extremely meaningful relationships in your life. You know, like how did you heal from some of that pain? Like some of us, like I said, as a young man, I was a functioning alcoholic. So and we know that there's healthy ways to heal. Yeah. You know, for some people would say cope. But what were the things that you did at the time, and how did you overcome some of that gap, and eventually come out as a better young man? So
honestly, like, you know, like this whole conception with like men not being able to cry and stuff like that, we gotta be strong. Like, honestly, like there was a point in time where I was like that, but you know, like when those deaths happened, you know, I was crying, man. But like after those cries, I will feel somewhat better because like all that tension and, you know, like hurt kind of went away. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then, you know, as I always say, take your pain and make champagne with it. You know what I'm saying? So, you feel me? Like, you know, like
take your pain and make champagne with it.
You feel me? Or like if life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Like one of the two we'll prefer. You know what I'm saying? If you're not, you know,
I'm liking the champagne. I don't even drink. I couldn't stand champagne, but now it has some meaning in my life.
Yeah. But yeah, so like just, using the motivation of them, like, because like when they were alive, they were always pushing me to be the best that I could be. So like I remember a week before my grandmother passed, I made a promise to her at her deathbed that I will graduate from high school, attend Hampton, and graduate from Hampton. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And throughout that whole time, like I'm dealing with, my grandfather's death. Sure. I dealt with like a death threat. I'm dealing with so many things, man, that you could think of. You know what I'm saying? Life be lifing, man. And I remember I was just telling myself, yo, I got to fulfill this promise I made to my grandmother. You know what I'm saying? And May 1st, 2020, that's when I received my final grades. I managed to get a 3.06 GPA.
Let's go.
Once I graduated from Hampton, and once I got that final grade, man, I was crying, man. I was like, yo, I did it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Adrian.
Yeah, man.
Hey, man, got his Rocky moment, baby.
Yeah, man.
Hey, man. Well, congrats. Like I said, I don't think any major accomplishment is without celebration, right? Like,
yeah.
I said, I think, we set the bar too low, even though we celebrate high school, graduation. But when you move on and do something beyond and you perceive something higher, it has to be respectfully celebrated. But like I said, you didn't stop there. So, but it sounds like the Tendaji was formulated after your undergrad, correct?
Yeah. So June of 2020, that's when we founded Tendaji after we won that pitch competition that was sponsored by Forbes.
Yeah.
And that's when we said, if Forbes is telling us yes, why wouldn't we tell ourselves no?
So you got a partner, and it sounds like obviously you got a partner with Tendaji, and you guys, boom, y'all get the project done. You get some affirmation. At what point do you like? Okay, what's the process like, right? Because you got young people, everybody's aspiring to do something significant. Yeah. Most people don't have a Ford stamp of approval. Most people don't have a Pharrell pitch. So talk to us about some of these early wins that really gave you confidence and how you guys began to partner and what that really looked like a little bit underneath as a young minority startup.
So like, when we founded Tendaji, only my co-founder Stanton had a business, like a fashion line, and it's called Somi's. So like he kind of gave us like a glimpse of what entrepreneurship was. But with me being the CEO, I had to learn a lot, throughout this whole journey that he couldn't even tell me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like us coming from engineering backgrounds, we didn't know business like that.
Sure.
All we did know was making the product. We didn't know how to market it.
This is powerful.
Legal advice, all that stuff.
Come on, bro.
Like, I got
Talk to him about all these pillars right here. Man. Marketing, sales, operations.
Exactly, man. So first I had to learn what business was like. And when I was at A&T at the time, you know what I'm saying? Can I get an Aggie pride? Gotta go ahead and say it again, you know what I'm saying? So I joined this one organization called HBCU VC. Shout out to HBCU VC, DR4, you already know what it is.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So I remember during my interview, now one of my good friends, Lavanya Jones, she was the program manager for HBCU VC. And she was like asking me like, what is a startup that you would want to invest in? So I wanted to say my business, but I was so scared because I didn't know what startup meant. So I told her Google, and she was like, Google's not a startup, DJ. I was like, shit. I'm like in the interview, like, hey, I ain't about to get in. Like, how am I gonna learn now? But when she like explained it to me, and I was like, oh, okay, then yeah, Tendaji. I was like, invest in Tendaji. And then she was like, oh no, like we're gonna teach you, don't worry. I was like, oh, so I'm in. We'll let you know in a week. I was like, all right, hopefully I get in. You know what I'm saying? So I got accepted. I was happy, and I was like, okay, so as like for HBCU VC, they're teaching you more about being an investor, but as an entrepreneur, you gotta learn how investors think too, so you can be 10 steps ahead. You know what I'm saying?
Bro. Come on.
So like learning about like cap tables and MVPs and other things that have to do with venture capital and investing.
Sure.
It kind of gave me a kickstart to like really get things going for Tendaji. Now we may not have all the resources, but at least it gave me a good foundation to make this business grow.
Bro, you talking, so, just to give the audience a gem, what's an MVP?
MVP is a minimum viable product. So it's like the first product you drop for your business.
Fantastic. That's how that kind of information is really what activates, stimulates, and changes people's mind. Because some people, I found that now being a business owner for the last 4 years myself, there's things that you're doing that you don't even know has language connected to it.
Most definitely.
Right? So it's like you might have already done an MVP, but somebody asked you for an MVP, you like, what?
Yeah. I'm thinking MVP, like, MVP of the Super Bowl or something.
Come on,
like,
most valuable player.
Yeah.
Most valuable product.
Yeah, that's literally what I was thinking.
Yeah, so I find it as things like that become really like mind-blowing. It's like, man, most of us won't know how equipped we actually are to do some certain things.
Yeah.
But people are speaking a language that's just over our head.
Mm-hmm.
I say money is a language, man. So if you don't know Spanish, there's no reason to understand money. Business has a language that people are speaking on. So if you don't learn the language of business,
then
you won't even
give you the time of day.
Ain't anybody gonna give you the time.
Yeah.
So, and I think the whole thing is most of us are doing business, and it does take resources. All right, everybody, this is David Tyree, your favorite Super Bowl champion. I want you to know something, public service announcement. If you're looking for some energizing salads, some protein-rich, delicious sandwiches and wraps, and our one-of-a-kind Super Bowls, I need y'all to come through 68 South Street in Morristown, Tyree's Table. Come through, get this love, because there's room for everybody at the table. We want you to understand that this is the intersection of health, culinary creativity. We got it going on, y'all. But even more so, this is the place where communities come together. So see us at Tyree's Table. We'll get great done together. Mm-hmm. All right, so this is super dope. But like I said, bro, you 26 years old. What gives you the audacity? So like, I love it. Number one, I know what gives you audacity, but talk through it. Even the reason why you're here is, like these relationships. Mm-hmm. What have you found to be the most profitable on your entrepreneurial journey? What have you found to be the most profitable use of your time or your resources as you continue to cast vision, grow, and scale, and continue to find resources?
Well, you just said it, like relationships, man. Like it's not even about the money per se. You know what I'm saying? Because like I always tell people, it's like that saying, it's not what you know, but who you know.
There you go.
I'll go ahead and extend it and say it's who likes you. Because like you can know a person and not like them, and you ain't gonna give them no resources. You know what I'm saying? But like, because like me, like I'm a straightforward person. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here with no hidden agenda. I'm gonna let you know what I'm about from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? And like, once we build that connection, it's like I cannot talk to you for like a month or so, but like if we like chop it up like next month or per se, like we're picking up where we left off. You know what I'm saying? We're just chopping it up like, hey man, how's the family? Like, oh man, yeah, I'm doing well. About to go to Bahamas next week. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So like relationships really can like really make you or break you. You know what I'm saying?
Excellent. What? So when you think about people along the journey, right? Obviously and there's certain things that it's kind of hard to really understand until you get in the game. I tell Tom, whether you call it Tom Brady, man in the arena, you can't be subject to the opinions of people who are not even in the game, right?
Exactly.
So, but what have you found, like when it comes to resources or relationships, who are some of the people that have been integral? I know you gave some shout outs to some of the groups and things of that nature, but whether it's mentors, who have been those, man, I crossed the bridge here because of this. Who are some of the people along your journey, even in this young stage of growth, that have really kind of been the linchpins that have held things together and continue to fuel the fire?
Yeah, most definitely, man. I got a lot, man. From Jonathan Rabb, he's the founder of Watch the Yard. Like he was like my first mentor that had like a big multi-dollar business, you know what I'm saying?
Nice.
And then you got people like Omi Bell, who was the founder of Black Girl Ventures. I actually got accepted to her NextGen program that was sponsored with the NBA Foundation. And that really boosted up my confidence tenfold, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, they're flying me out to Cleveland. I'm meeting Dikembe Mutombo. I'm literally
Mutombo.
You know what I'm saying? No. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. And I'm like, wow. The whole time I met J.R. Smith when I was at A&T.
You met J.R.?
Yeah, man. He cool,
J.R.
man.
Jersey boy. He wow. I love J.R.
Yeah, man. Listen, no shirt on during the parades and all that.
This is crazy.
Yeah, man.
Reckless.
I remember because I was actually doing some content creation for Watch the Yard at the time when I met him. And this was like a week, probably days before I was graduating with my master's at A&T.
Dope.
And he was actually doing his documentary that's on Amazon. Yeah. And I met him. I was telling him I was doing this thing like, hey, I'm doing content creating, like asking students like, oh, what do you plan on doing after you graduate from A&T? And once we did that, he was asking me who I was. And, you know what I'm saying? Success is preparation means opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So I was telling him.
Come on, bro. Put the formula together. Yes, sir.
You already know, man. And I remember I was telling him about my business, you know, we stay connected, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's helping me out. Like, you know, I met Malik Yoba, who's like Gavin from Why Did I Get Married?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
New York Undercover.
That's New York Undercover. That's my era.
Yeah.
Listen, what you want to do?
Yeah,
Want to be
man.
ballers? Shot
callers, come on now.
On the low from the Jake and the Taurus.
Yeah, man. So, but yeah, there's so many, man. Black Ambition, obviously, like with Felicia, Pharrell, Christine.
Super dope.
You know what I'm saying? Like all those people that, you know, just poured into me. You know what I'm saying? It takes a village to raise a child. So it's like,
man, don't miss this right here because we think it's just kids. It's business too.
Yeah, man.
It's kids. The business is like a baby,
I'm telling you, man. Mr. Wiggins, Mr. Joel Wiggins from North Carolina A&T.
Excellent.
And I even learned from people that's younger than me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you getting into my heart. So this is good. So I've said this probably on the pod before, but I just believe that you, especially in today's society, you need mentors young and old.
Yeah.
You know, you need mentors young and old because this is a far more informed generation, your generation, and even some below the digital native community.
Yeah.
You know, we live in a pure content society. So if you're not willing to engage and put value on people up, below, and across,
exactly,
it's just gonna be too many missed opportunities, man.
I'm telling you, man. Listen, I remember when I went to one of my hometown bros' house. Like, he actually lived across the street from a crack house, right? Yeah, crazy, right? I remember one of the crackheads came up to us asking for like a quarter. Gave him the quarter. The crackhead was telling him, "Don't be like me," and that was some good advice. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
gave him a quarter, said, "Don't be like me."
Yeah, man. And I'm looking at my friend like, I mean, I wasn't gonna be like him, so like I appreciate the advice. You know what I'm saying? Like, advice is advice. Like, if it's there to like help you, like, you know, like take it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
If it's good, sound advice, right? Well, listen, I think that's a freaking crazy scenario because it just goes to show you, right? And credibility, right? Credibility does come from a place of experience, but when you make poor decisions, you also going to have that experience to work from. It takes a long time to kind of rewrite the ship, even when you make poor decisions. But you probably have learned something that's valuable that you can pass down.
Most definitely.
So, talk to me about so when you in this space, and we're going to talk about the nonprofit in a second. You clearly see opportunity, right? Yeah. Like, you know, obviously you created something that has value, innovation, creativity. But you see opportunity. How did you get to this space? Business takes money, right? So this is the hard, patient side of like, what has been the greatest frustrations of going through this process, right? It's like, you know, you gotta stay positive, confident, all these things. You had affirmation, but there's a road, there's a place that you're trying to get to, and then there's the real obstacles and frustration. What has been the biggest pain point in the journey so far?
Honestly, like money, yes, but time especially. You know what I'm saying? Because like with time, like you're never gonna get it back. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta be really, really strategic about it. And sometimes life be life, and you have so many twists and turns happening and all. Honestly, when it comes to time, like also rely on your village because like they can invest the time into you. Like if you need help with, I don't know, like application, I got my co-founders that can help with the application and like submit it. You know what I'm saying? Just so I can focus on, you know, what's at hand for me. Excellent. So it's like you honestly got to just take it one day at a time. Don't look too far ahead in the future because then you'll get anxious, and don't keep on looking in the past because then you're gonna get depressed. You know what I'm saying?
So good.
Yeah.
Boy, that's so good. These boy, you 26? Golly. Listen, I was dumb for so long. It was fantastic.
Listen, man.
The good thing is I'm looking at my oldest son is 22. So you know, I'm OG status at this point. But
OG.
Yeah, but it's dope watching people in their 20s. My generation, you know, I do call it, like I say, it's young and dumb. It's like you got time on your hands, you got energy, you got strength, and hopefully you can get the dumb out as soon as you can. I mean, like, because most people, they waste their 20s, and then you get to the point where you're approaching 30, and you're expecting to have something.
Yeah, that's facts, man.
It's like,
but I ain't gonna lie, I feel like the pandemic was what made me mature a little bit more because it's like we couldn't do anything else during the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Like I was kind of like,
facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was just like, all right, because I was in the house for too long. I was bored. It got to a point I was so bored. I went back to my senior design project. And when we actually got it to work, that's when the light bulb in my head went off. I'm like, yo, this could actually work. You know what I'm saying? So I hit up my my senior design founders or partners, now founders.
Sure.
Like, yo, this works, man. We might as well keep on doing this. We may see this actually being a fit. And like I said before, the rest is history. Like,
rest is history.
I'm talking to you,
dope.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's dope. No,
yeah.
I love it. No, I love every bit of it, man. So, you know, you get a lot of these central things in relation to relationships. Talk about the foundation, how it came to be. I love that you have this intersection of minority community and the impact that we can have together. Like, so when you old school Black, it's interesting now, whereas you grew up with Jamaican people, but I grew up with Jamaicans, Puerto Rican, Hispanic. I grew up in a super diverse town, Montclair, New Jersey. So we had everybody, and everybody was locked in, and it was pretty much all good. But being Black was like, assimilation is a real thing. Now you're looking at cultures, you know, little Haiti, little Cube, like, you know, you got the African community. We got what's their music that's hitting crazy right now?
Afrobeats,
right? Like everybody got their thing right now, right?
Dancehall, soca, listen, I love all that. You know what I'm saying?
I love it. They vibing. So it's definitely not like Black people were being left out, but you seem to be a massive connector of that word always jacks me up, the diaspora. Diaspora.
Yeah.
I jack it up all the time.
Hey, it's all good. I knew
so
what you
talk to me about the foundation, what it is, and obviously even in your business, you're a massive collaborator in the minority community and recognizing the value.
Yeah, most definitely. So GiveBLK is the name of my nonprofit. So what our mission is to ultimately be the catalyst of the African diaspora community. So not just African American, we're speaking about Afro-Latino, we're speaking about African, Caribbean, Afro-Indigenous, including African American, everything in between. So what we're trying to do within that community is just help develop everybody through social, educational, and professional development. So it could be as simple as tying a tie. It could be as with financial literacy. It could be just knowing everybody's culture. You know what I'm saying? Because like, you know, we have a tendency where we see Africans not liking African American or Caribbeans not liking anybody, and you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Hilarious, y'all. I love my island people. My wife is half Black and half Puerto Rican, so I got the best of both worlds.
Okay. So yeah, man,
but it's real. It's hilarious.
I'm saying, but like I feel like with my friend group in particular, like back at home, man, like everybody's a part of that African diaspora. So like seeing how we gel together, it kind of gave me a purpose. Like, you know what, this is very possible to like get like our whole community to like become one. You know what I'm saying? Instead of us just being sections of one.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's a beautiful thing, like, you know, like seeing more of the conversations happening along these lines, and you know, really trying to find oneness around. I tell people, I think that, you know, I'm super compassionate about, you know, the African American community because, you know, I think number one, like I said, people are still healing, right? Yeah. People are still healing from, you know, from the generational traumas, from being held back, from being oppressed.
Yeah.
I'm not going to create a big topic of conversation, but I think it's important to recognize that the bitterness and the strife that are still lies within our community is based upon the fact that people aren't whole.
Yeah.
So if you don't have anyone else, the powerful thing about some of these other subsets of the African diaspora is they have language that they can connect around. Whereas unless you're African and you speak Swahili, you can't connect around. I'm like, we really American out here.
Yeah.
Right? It's like we Black, but we American.
Yeah,
so
we had to create our own culture.
Exactly. So we created a whole unique expression out of the midst of oppression that has so much value to the world.
Yeah.
But we're still, you know, still overcoming some things. So we actually need all of these other subsets that still look like us.
Yeah.
And have similarities, but we don't have the language where you can unite around your you know, the language and the community that comes with being connected to a nation.
Yeah.
I said that's what's unique about your language and your nation is you have the language of a nation.
Yeah.
Whereas African Americans who have been brought here, we don't have the language. You know, we have the language of Americans.
Yeah.
So it's a deep dive and deep conversation. But talk to me right here at this intersection. You were, you know, up until recently, you were working. You was doing the real Hey, I'm still working out here in these streets.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that trend, that reality of, man, I launched a company while I'm still in school.
Mm-hmm.
How was you able to get it done? And and now taking this leap into full time.
Yeah.
What what are the pieces that you're finding, and what are the insecurities along the way? Like, that's the big leap. It's like it's great. It's a great tool to leverage income to fuel a business as it's growing. So talk about that part of the journey.
Yeah, man. So like once me and my job parted ways, it was like, all right, what's the next step? You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta like be in that mode of like, how can I make something work? You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And like, I ain't gonna lie, like entrepreneurship is definitely a different beast to
beast.
You know what I'm saying? But one thing about it is definitely, I would say, in my opinion, it's more worthwhile than working the 9 to 5 because it's more freedom at the end of the day.
Yeah,
you know
for the grind.
Yeah, so like just honestly, like not rushing the process. You know what I'm saying? Because like when you rush it, you're just gonna miss out on things that could have really benefit you long term. You know what I'm saying?
So patience is key.
Patience is definitely key. You gotta like just.
And what about when the bills hit?
The bills hit. I mean, man, listen. I
missed the practical here because I'm living out the same journey, but I'm like, okay. Obviously, there's two ways to do it, right? It's like, every business is different.
Yeah.
So we don't have to make, we know what your business is, but when you can leverage income, strategically that you're creating from a full-time business to fuel and find stability.
Yeah.
And of course but then now you got your time back to go all in on Tendaji.
Exactly.
So like when it comes to the practicality of it, talk pros and cons. And it sounds like you got an interest. You out here trying to build the future.
Yeah. I know, man. Come on, Charisma Monet, call what's happening. You know what I'm saying?
Talk to her.
But yeah, so like me and my girlfriend, like she's really been superb. You know what I'm saying? Like
amazing.
I love this girl. From the top of my head to the sole of my feet.
Beautiful.
You know what I'm saying? Like this girl right here has really been teaching me to like remain patient with things. Cause like before we started dating, I was kind of in the sense of like being anxious about the future and depressed about the past, you know what I'm saying? Her really being my helpmate, just helping me out with things like.
What you know about a helpmate?
hey man, listen, I'm a spiritual person, you know what I'm saying?
I rock with you.
Yeah. So like I told you before, like me and my girl, we actually about to be moving in soon. Like she's gonna help with some bills. I'm gonna take care of majority of the bills, you know what I'm saying?
Y'all got an agreement though.
Yeah, we got an agreement. So like just communicating with her and seeing like how we can make this work for the both of us. And, like for her just really being like my right hand woman and really wanting to see us both like do amazing things. Like, we're grounded spiritually like through Christianity. So
man, I'm a Christian.
Yes, sir.
Listen, man, I tell people I'm not afraid to say I'm a Christian. I'm like, listen, man, because I laugh sometimes, not all the time, because I get it. Christianity has some real negative connotations. It has some religious connotations. I said, listen, man, Christ set me free. I met the person of Jesus. I wasn't raised in the church. I said, Jesus is a real person. I said, if you can get to him, he'll change your life. There's no one who does it who's met him that doesn't love him.
Yeah, and it's like, and I loved him since like I was introduced to him. You know what I'm saying? And then I feel like with this relationship, it brought me even closer to God because it's like me and my girl, we be reading like scriptures every day. It's like I feel more spiritually inclined because of her. You know what I'm saying? And it's like with me being like the man of the relationship, like. I'm setting the tone too, so like just
you better.
Yeah, of course.
I might have to talk. I ain't gonna put you too much on the spot right now, because I'm 20 years. I'm macaroni Tony out here. I'm 20 years married.
Okay, come on, 20 years.
Yeah, 20 years in June.
All right.
But so like there's few, and I've done it the wrong way. Like I'm one of these. I'm practical. I mean, like number one. Love is if God is love, then you got to get to this place. Two is better than one. That's what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Discovering that, right? But then it's like, okay, how do we not jack each other up?
Yeah.
In the name of love, I mean, like in the name of unstable love, because even before I came to Christ, I think I loved her, but I didn't know how to love her. So it wasn't until Christ consumed me that I actually understood what love was.
Yeah.
And then I could properly give her the love that she needs to flourish and continue to create the environment.
Exactly, man.
So
love
keep yourself.
Patient,
go ahead.
Love is kind. Love is not envy. Love is not boast. Like all the stuff that God was speaking about love, man. Like that's how we should follow it. And love will not be stressful. It won't be strenuous. You know what I'm saying? Like love is supposed to be uplifting. You know what I'm saying?
Excellent. So y'all preparing to build this life together. I messed with you earlier. I said y'all about to get into a shack attack. All right. So now I'm gonna ask you a real question. What's the fear? You guys got a plan clearly. Mm-hmm. What's the fear around marriage, as opposed to just testing this thing out, living together?
Yeah.
What's the because y'all on one accord, so that's y'all. No judgment zone. Be free.
Yeah.
But what's the fear at the end of the day? If you're gonna live like you're married, why not be married and make the commitment?
Oh, the funds got to be right. You know what I'm saying? For that to happen, you know what I'm saying? Like, but like, I mean, it's
listen, man. No, listen.
Yeah.
Just a little casual. Pod talk.
Yeah, I mean, that's the goal. Honestly, like
that's the goal.
You know, like I ain't dating her just to let time pass, and she ain't dating me to let time pass. You know, like I don't like wasting her time, and I don't want to waste my time either. Mm-hmm. So, you know, we made a covenant that, you know, once that time comes, it's like really like.
Yeah, because I'm big bro. I'm going to check in like, yo, you living right?
Yeah. Nah, I appreciate that. Yeah. So it's like, you know, we're going to take our time with this. And, you know, when that time comes, when, you know, I get on one knee and ask her to be my wife, like,
yeah,
it's going to be
I'm excited for you, man.
I appreciate that.
That's fantastic. All right, so tell us what to expect, man. You got a profound journey. Like when I think about the challenges underneath, and relationships are hard, business is crazy hard.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what do you feel is your biggest, you know, when you think about either the young man that you become, the young business owner you become, what do you feel is your biggest, like, when I say weakness, I mean, like, just like, man, I know I need to bring a supply here. What do you feel like is your biggest strength that gives you optimism about Tendaji, you know, all black, and now even becoming a husband in the future?
Yeah, so honestly, like, just going back to my childhood and just being disciplined. You know what I'm saying? Like, making sure that no distractions take me away from my goal.
From your mission.
Yeah, from my mission, man. Like, you know, I'm 26 years old, but I want to make sure that my future is everlasting. You know what I'm saying? Like,
come on, bro. Talk your talk.
You feel me? Yeah, man. Like, I feel like I'm at a point now where it's like, I don't want to waste no time.
Excellent.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like what my purpose is to not only be like a great CEO and, like, you know, a great businessman, but, you know, a great father, a great husband, a great son, brother, friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, just making sure that I'm just like a person of love. You know what I'm saying? Like a person.
Listen, bro, you blessing me, because this is actually something I talk about. I've done a seminar called Real Men Work, and I said the first thing we got to be. I said, be a good son. Be a good son to God. You've clearly been a good son. I'm sure your father's super proud of you. Be a good son. As you become a good son, you'll become a good husband. Mm-hmm. And you want to do it in that order.
Yeah.
At 21 years old, I had a son in college. Mm-hmm. And that chaotic introduction, but also a blessing, changed the trajectory of my life. I wasn't prepared for it. Mm-hmm. We weren't prepared for it. And I speak pretty frankly. I'm like, I tried to ruin a life because I was self-inclined, right? Like, different time, different era, different man. Mm-hmm. And but you want to be a good son. You become a good son, you be a good husband, become a good father. And the reason why it's important to inherit those titles first is because those titles are everlasting. Yeah. Right? Like, you know, like, man, Lord willing, Tendaji becomes super successful. You might sell that sucker, never do business again, but you'll always be son, husband, father.
Most definitely.
So keep wearing those crowns, man. So, but talk to us about what you feel like your biggest strengths are, and maybe where some of the weaknesses are, so that people can understand that nature of us as humans.
Yeah. So I'll start with the weaknesses first. Sometimes, like, I be worrying a little bit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, but like I said, with my girlfriend, like, teaching me to be present, that's like kind of like getting out the way.
Help you with that. That's
dope. Yeah. It's like we always tell each other, like, we're either going to pray about it and not worry, or we're going to worry about it and not pray. And I'd rather do the first one. You know what I'm saying? Because
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. That's good.
Yeah, because at least if I pray, my mind is a little bit more at ease, and I now have a clear understanding.
That's literally what it says. Be anxious for nothing, but by prayer and supplication, let your request be
Come on, known. Somebody.
Yeah, man. Cast your cares on God, for He cares for you. That's
I like that.
The remedy is right there. It's right there in the book.
Yes, sir.
I got you.
Yeah. So, like, honestly, like, weaknesses, I can't really see the weaknesses, so I gotta like
other
ask
people can along the way.
You know what I'm
but
saying?
That's how you grow, though.
That's how I grow, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Strengths, though, like, as you can see, like, I'm very comfortable, like, speaking and all. Like, I have no problem, like, presenting myself in the room. Like, I remember I was talking to my therapist, and she said, like, the essence that I have is a trailblazer. Like I'm doing,
I like it.
You know what I'm saying? I do a lot of things that other people don't do or
Sure.
don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Damn.
yeah, man.
Trailblazer.
Yeah.
Well, I like that. That's a bar right there.
Hey.
Well, listen, man, keep blazing the trail, man. I'm super proud of you. Just even getting the chance to know you. Big shout out to Taylor Scunyas.
Thank you, Taylor.
Work with us, one of the most amazing interns with DT3. We got something coming for you. I love you, girl. But amazing people will come together to do amazing things, and you're already on your way. Tell the audience where they can find you and what to expect moving forward.
Oh, yeah, man. So, listen, I'm on Instagram, trying to make my way back to Twitter, but we'll go ahead and give the Instagram first. So, my Instagram is @_dr.jr. And if you guys want to follow the journey with my businesses, we got Tendaji, which is 10.daji. And then GiveBLK is give.blk. Thank you.
Listen, bro, you've been all that, man. We're gonna cook this up and keep getting some great things done together.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate your story. Listen, you everything is possible, and as long as we can kind of understand who we are, right? What some of those strengths are, just get into the game. You learned that from my man Daryl Riley. Appreciate y'all for checking back in with Catch the Moment. We'll see you next week. Keep getting great done.
Hey, man, God is good.